Hello everybody, this is quixQuery here, and today we are playing Sky Factory, and we are back in the single-player world here, and we are going to work on cleaning this place up so we can move on to a new series, because there are there's Sky Factory 3 out, and that's something I want to try. But then there's Project Ozone 2, and a bunch of other modded Sky Factory Skyblock series that I think would be very interesting to try out. And so we're going to finish this world off, and in order to do so, we are going to go around island by island and finish each island off. We have finished off that island right there, and we are getting close with the island up there. We still need to do stuff underneath, though, as well as some other bits and pieces, but this island is going to be our focus today. And so we are going to work on getting this thing cleaned up, making it look nicer, and performing all of the functions that I want it to be able to perform in the end. And so that is what we are going to be working on today. And I've already started by cleaning up some of the stuff on the underside right here, and so we have gotten rid of the armchair and all that stuff and moved it up into our house all the way up there. And so that is super nice. And we are by ourselves today. Avnor is not around. But the next thing that we need to do is pipe this lava from the lava drum right here. And we want this to extract from here, always active. And we have ender fluid conduits. Those are pretty much the best fluid conduits ever, because they instantly transport fluids to wherever they need to go, and so that's why they're the best fluid conduits ever. However, we are running short on them, and so we're probably going to need to make some more in order to do this. But essentially, we want to run those to the seared tanks there on each of these things, and that should in theory, supply all of them with as much lava as we could ever need. Aha, so now all of those thingies are in place. All of these are getting lava, and all of them are producing things. Now, some of these are flowing over, and that's something we'll have to address here in a little bit, like they're getting too many items in one of the things. And so we need chests and just a way to bring those back to a storage place somewhere, which I'm assuming will be up on top of the island up there, but we'll have to get to that. But anyway, for the moment, what we are going to do is this layer is looking pretty ugly, and so what we are going to do is we are going to clean it up, make everything look much nicer, get rid of some of the things that don't need to be there, and put some things there that do, and make this place look much nicer. We're going to, yeah, and we need a palette for this place. I'm assuming we're going to use maybe some seared stone, maybe not, I don't know, honestly. We'll just have to see how that goes. That actually looks really cool. But we are ready to put stuff down, and I thought that this hex plating looked really cool, and so I decided that that's what I would go with. And so we are going to be using hex plating to do all of this, and so all we have to do is place this down in the pattern up above, and I have a builder's wand ready, and we're also going to rewire this flux duct so that it goes down and underneath instead of above on the same layer that everything else is on. And so this is going to they're still all going to be connected. It's just going to go down a little bit before it actually goes across. So, dun-ta-dun. There we go. That's the plan. Aha! So, here it is. We have our floor completely replaced with a different hex plating than I originally thought I was using. This is this large red hex plating, and it looks a little better in my opinion. And so, the other one just kind of clashed a little bit with the seared bricks in a way that didn't work very well, and so I changed it out for this large red hex plating instead. and so this one looks much better, in my opinion at least. And so we have cleaned up quite a bit of things around here, unified where the chests are and stuff like that. Put chests on some of them, and you can see those are filling up nice and quick, and everything is going well. I've actually been looking back at this area right here and thinking about like what on earth I could, how it's laid out infrastructure wise, the framework of how this works, and it's not actually nearly as good as I could do now. Like I'm thinking about it and thinking that like these could all be together and then one drawer controller and then just going, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I could do it a lot better now than I did originally, but I actually made the system back when I was somewhat new to this generation of modded, and so these were some new concepts for me, the drawers and the transfer nodes and stuff, and so I was all over it and decided that was what I was going to use. So we got a couple chests here, right, for the casts and some seared bricks that I had smelted up a while ago in our massive smeltery here in the middle. And we still, up at the top, have some windows to put in, some seared glass. Yeah, and so those are just up here for decoration, essentially. And we got a Deco Craft iron ingot stack. Again, this is just kind of a decoration thing. That's, yeah, pretty simple. I think, I'm not sure whether we want to keep this top platform as grass or not. It's a good question. But either way, the next step in this is down here and completely replacing this platform right here. Getting the cows out of here because we got some fluid cows over here that need to be moved, including a water fluid cow, among some other things. And so we also probably should make a couple other Tesseracts and pump stuff into them and out of them using like cobblestone and other stuff like that. Cobblestone specifically is the big one that I really want to pump out, have a big pump in and out of thing. And so we're going to have to set that up in the next episode because we still have to decorate this platform, get the other functions up and running before we can even think about starting to get some more Tesseracts put together and all of that stuff. And so we have this lower platform that we need to do, and so I'm going to get started working on that. What was that, Mr. Armorstand? You're going to take over? What? No. You can't form an Imperial Society now. No. There's only 2 of us here. You can't do that, Mr. Armorstand. I'll have to go show him. He can't form his Imperial Society because I have rebellious blocks. I'll show you, Mr. Armorstand. You know what? Here goes this platform, and in the new platform, we get to have rebellious blocks. Take that, Mr. Armorstand. Your Imperial Society will not usurp us. Aha! Just replacing this cobblestone with some nice blocks makes a world of difference around there. My goodness. Yeah, wow. It makes me want to replace the grass blocks up here maybe. We might not. But this is looking really good, and I kind of like how the middle is the only part that actually is lit up, in comparison to over here where most, if not all, of the whole place is lit up, with the smelteries and all that going all over the place. And it honestly suits up here, but down here, it suits down here as well, and so it's kind of like, I don't know, like this suits down here better than this type of lighting would suit up here, and this type of lighting suits up here better than it does down here. Yeah, that might be kind of weird, but either way, things are progressing, going well. We need to set up the automatic hammering and sifting of the cobblestone down here somewhere, probably on either this side or that side, or maybe even back over here. Okay, let's take a look at this makeshift setup right here. And this is not for sifting, this is only for grinding things up into the other forms. And so we'll put cobblestone in the inventory right here, which I do want to be sending through a tesseract eventually. And then it will come out of here, the cobblestone will, into this right here, which will then be put into gravel, turned into gravel from that. Now, the gravel will then either go into the sieve right there, or the chest right here. And you can see that that's working pretty well. All of it's working pretty well for that matter. Like, you know, half of it goes in there, half of it goes in the next one. And so in that way, we are able to get about an even amount of each of the different types of things. Now, we actually want a little more sand, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that look a little more normal. And so now, since this pipe is longer, the theory is that less often the sand will come into this thing to be turned into dust. And so it still will happen, it'll just be less often because of that. And so we actually want to eventually replace these and send sand out over here into this instead of having its own separate manufacturing stuff over here. We want this to be our main manufacturing of gravel, sand, and dust, all right in this area right here. Awesome. From there, we have our tesseract thing. I believe that's what this is called. Yeah, tesseract from thermal expansion. We'll have another one right here in addition to the one over here. And it will determine what gets sifted and what doesn't, and that'll be on different channels and stuff like that. Send stuff through to get sifted, like so, and then this one actually just so happens to have speed and fortune upgrades, which is pretty cool. And then after that, it gets taken out and put back into a different channel. So, yeah, or at least that's the theory behind it. And so this should work pretty well as far as this stuff goes, and hopefully it should supply us with a decent quantity of each of the different things. But that is about all the time I have for today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And the next episode, what I plan on doing is working on storage for and the tesseracts and stuff like that, the transferal of items between different things. And so that is what we are going to be working on in the next episode. So make sure to subscribe so you can catch that, you know, if you're interested. And so I will see you guys in the next episode. Take care. Bye.